I had people asking me this yesterday prior to the game. A couple of my friends think it's going to be a sweep. And I go, no. Are you sure? Certainly sounded like that after game one. I go, it's game one. They have to play a whole new game. They don't just pick up where they left off after game one. Game two, Miami had shots, made shots. They were more aggressive. There's no real mystery to the recipe here. Be aggressive, get to the free throw line, and make your open shots. And they did that last night. They were more aggressive, and they got the win. Stat of the day brought to you by Panini America, the official trading cards of the Dan Patrick Show. Got a play of the day, poll question, stat of the day, all of that forthcoming. In fact, what do we have, Seton, poll question-wise?
Well, Dan, we can start actually by going back to Friday's poll question.
Righty.
Which was after Thursday night's game, Nuggets Heat series is more likely to sweep or go 7. Do you want to guess what those results were?
I thought it was sweep 70%.
Oh, 80%.
Oh,
Dan.
80%.
80% sweep, yeah.
Okay.
Dangerang.
All right.
How about we could just go with who would you bet on to win the series now, Heat or Nuggets?
Who would you bet on? I'd still bet on Denver, but look, the more you watch Miami, the more you realize that Jimmy Butler's philosophy is what leads them whenever they go into the series, whenever they're down, whenever people doubt. Here's Jimmy Butler after last night.
I just think nobody cares on our team. We're not worried about what anybody thinks. We're so focused in on what we do well and who we are as a group that at the end of the day, that's what we fall back on. Make or miss shots, we're going to be who we are because we're not worried about anybody else. It's how it's been all year long, and that's not going to change. So that's what I think it is. I think it's the I don't give a damn factor.
This program brought to you by the great folks at Mercedes. The Mercedes-Benz SUV family proves that it's easy to come in and take a test drive. Takes no time at all to set it up. Mercedes-Benz dealer. Learn more at MBUSA.com. There's also the thought, and we brought this up, Bam Adebayo, the Miami Heat center, brought it up, that you have to limit Joker and his ability to be able to set up his teammates. He had 4 assists last night. Now, if they make the shots, he has 12 assists. Then this might be a moot point. But the fact that he put up 41, they lost, and he wasn't able to get everybody else involved. Well, here is the question from Ramona Shelburne of the Mothership to the Miami Heat head coach, Eric Spoelstra.
This is probably oversimplifying things, but sometimes when teams play against Jokic, you turn him into a scorer, you turn him into a passer, and he controls the game. He only had 4 assists tonight.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's just, that's the untrained eye that says something like that. This guy's an incredible player. Twice in 2 seasons, he's been the best player on this planet. You can't just say, oh, make him a scorer. That's not how they play. They have so many different actions that just get you compromised. We have to focus on what we do. We try to do things the hard way, and he requires you to do many things the hard way. Man, he has our full respect. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, what's he bothered about?
Was she disrespectful?
Yeah, I don't think there was anything disrespectful. She basically saying, look, I'm going to oversimplify this, and then he basically stops her in her tracks. Bam Adebayo said that, basically that when the series started, that if he's a scorer and not a facilitator, that's what we have to kind of push him into. I'm kind of surprised that Spoelstra is unnerved by that. Yes, Eden.
At what point did Ramona say in there that he's not a good player?
Yeah, Paulie.
I think, 'cause I'm trying to see any way Spoelstra could be bothered. Coaches don't like to take jabs or give any bulletin board. I wonder if he thought that by going along with Ramona Shelburne's questioning, he would have been somehow saying, yeah, we want Jokic to be the scorer because then we know we'll win. We have a better chance of winning. And that would somehow demean him. I think that's what he was being defensive about.
Well, I can only give this to you from firsthand experience when if you try to act like you know as much or more than the coach does, the coach has a real problem with that. That happened with me when Pat Riley was the head coach of the Knicks, and I asked a question, and he shot me down in front of all the reporters because I was acting like I knew basketball. And I think that's what it is. The untrained eye is what he's saying. So he's saying, I'm coaching, you're watching.
Oh, you figured it out too then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yes, Todd.
You could also use words like, I know in the moment you can't edit yourself, but that type of narrative or those who suggest that, so it doesn't sound so personal, so it's Ramona. I think there's a way to get into that without it sounding like he's, attacking her specifically.
Just give me your question. I don't think she's suggesting, and she's saying oversimplify.
This is probably oversimplifying things, but sometimes when teams play against Jokic, you turn him into a scorer, you turn him into a passer, and he controls the game. He only had 4 assists tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not outlandish. People have talked about this. One of his own players spoke about this, that you want to make sure, and it felt like when Miami built up a lead, then Joker said, I don't want this to get out of hand, and he started scoring. I think what the Miami Heat did is they guarded the other guys. They didn't try to give help to Bam guarding Jokic. I think that's really what it came down to. And they didn't make their shots. Now, if they knock those shots down and he ends up with 12 assists, then Miami's down 0-2 going back home. They didn't make those shots. It's not like Jokic wasn't trying to be a facilitator. They just didn't make their shots. And he did. And he took a lot of shots. Miami hit their threes. They were far more aggressive, and they went through the free throw line. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, not to oversimplify this, because I don't want to get verbally spanked by a coach in the process, but hey, Miami, be aggressive and get to the hoop. We talked about that after game 1. If you're going to shoot 2 free throws, you know what that tells me? You're shooting threes. Get to the hoop. Get some fouls. They went 18 of 20 from the line, and they made their shots. And they were more aggressive. That's it. And now Denver, who's favored in game 3, what adjustments do you make? You know what the adjustments? How about you make your shots? That's all. It's a great philosophy. You don't need to be a great coach to go, you know what, guys? We need to make our shots. Okay, coach, let's go. That's all that this is. Be more aggressive, get after loose balls, and realize that you're in for a fight here. This is going 6, maybe 7 games. But, we were talking about how this Denver offense is one of the greatest offenses of all time. Well, it's great when it works. Just like any other offense. It's great when it works. And when it doesn't, then you got to give credit to Miami. And this is Eric Spoelstra doing the right things. Pressing the right buttons. Jimmy Butler didn't play well. Bam Adebayo played well. Bam Adebayo, to me, is the key. If Miami wins this, it'll be because he keeps pressure on the Joker. Offensively and defensively. Do the best you can defensively, but offensively, you have to make him pay. Make your shots when you have open looks. Because after game 1, I said, don't be fooled by this. Miami had open looks, they just didn't make them. And if they continue to make them, Miami is going to stretch this out. But game 3, let's see how Denver responds now as a 2-point favorite.